Thanks, Adam.
So, Coach, last night didn't probably go the way that you thought, but the girls played well. You have a very young team. Talk about the game last night against Centenary.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a tough loss to swallow because we felt like, going into it, we felt like we should have been the better team to win. But, like Janice said, we got a lot of shots that we wanted, and we just weren't able to put them in. We got, I don't know how many, we probably missed 20-plus shots right around the basket. And, it's like as a coach, you can't really draw it up better than that to get those shots, and they just weren't falling. So, so that was disappointing for us, but, we got some things that we got to get better at, and that's something that we've had a little bit of issues with in practice periodically of finishing around the basket, and so we're going to keep working on that. Defensively, we gave up a little bit too much dribble penetration, and, we talked coming into the game, they led the country in free throw attempts last year, so, and obviously different coach, different system, but they were still running a lot of the same stuff that they ran last year with a lot of ball screen stuff and using their athletes to get in the paint and draw fouls. And so we didn't do a great job of containing dribble penetration. We had a few possessions where we really did a good job, where we were able to get in the way and contest shots and finish and get rebounds. But on a lot of their free throws, like if you look at the box score, a lot of their free throws were at the end when we were, fouling to try to, try to get the ball back. But still, like I said, we didn't do a great job against dribble penetration, and we didn't do a great job finishing. But, we scored 64 points on 79 shots, and that's just not good enough. We shot like 30% as a team. We held them to 34%, which usually you would say would be a pretty good defensive outing. We had 24 offensive rebounds, which is big. And we've been stressing that a lot about getting to the boards, and the girls really did it last night, but we weren't able to convert those second shot opportunities. So, on a different night, if a few more of those go in, we win, and if a lot more of them go in, we win pretty easily. So. We'll go back and try to get better at those things and get ready for next Wednesday.
You had a lot of rebounds last night, 58 to 52 over them. You had two players in double figures, both Sade Morrell and Lauren Lee had 12 rebounds. Just talk about, the rebounding aspect that you have out there already this year.
Well, I think our group of post players that we have, and I didn't get to play, some of the bench girls as many minutes as I probably would have liked to. I feel like we have a really good, strong group of posts. We got a lot of good size, and they're good players. And I think that's going to be something that should be good for us all year if they'll get in there and do it. And Lauren's really improved that aspect of her game. She was an okay rebounder last year, and if she can be a great rebounder this year, that'd be great for us. Sade's a really, really good rebounder. She's a little undersized for a post player, but she just gets after it. So, in our guards, I thought rebounded pretty well, too. I think Malaysia ended up with 5. Packett had 4, which is usually pretty good for your wings. So, that's something we're gonna stress all year, both offensively and defensively. Because possession's not over till you got the ball. So, we're not super aggressive defensively. I think we have certain lineups that we can be a little more aggressive with. We had a lineup last night that we pressed with a lot. But kind of that starting group, we're not going to be quite as aggressive as we would be with some other groups, and so we're basically trying to use our size and our length to contest shots, make them take tough shots, but then we got to finish the possession with a rebound. So, 24 offensive rebounds is huge. I think, giving up 15 on the other end wasn't great, and a lot of them were dribble penetration, and we're helping over, and then we're not rotating down to help the helper, where our post players are coming to help the guards on the drive, and then the backside guards we're missing rotations on blockouts. So, again, it's early in the season. There's a lot of stuff we got to get better at. We haven't had a whole lot of time together, and especially with all these new people trying to get them in, I'm trying to figure out, trying to get comfortable with them and what they can do, and figure out who needs to be playing.
Well, you do have a lot of new players. It was fun last night. There's a lot of new faces. Like, man, I don't know this team yet.
Yeah.
But it was fun watching. You started a freshman in Hannah Holt. Mm-hmm. You had, Jay Jeffries, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think 5, maybe.
5. Is Amanda a freshman?
Yeah, Amanda's a freshman.
5. Kendall.
Yeah,
6.
6.
So
yeah.
6 freshmen come off the bench and play. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they gave you some good minutes. The first collegiate game, so there's probably some nerves with that. But you've got some players that, as they develop, are going to develop into some players that teams aren't going to want to see.
Yeah, I'm really excited about our freshman class. It's a really huge class, but I think they're really talented. It's just, like we've been saying, it's just going to be adjustment for them to get used to things. But I think they're going to be able to give us good minutes throughout the year. That's probably going to be a little up and down. There's going to be some games where one of them plays really well and 3 of them don't play very well, and there's going to be other games where 2 of them play really well and 1 of them doesn't play really well. So that's going to be kind of a balancing act all year. I think that's part of maturing as a player, is developing the consistency, and it's hard to do when you're first coming in. But like you said, we started a freshman at point guard. Our 2 posts off the bench were both freshmen. A couple other freshman point guards that got to play. And we had some other good freshmen that didn't get in last night, and they're good players. So that's going to be difficult for me all year, trying to figure out which buttons to push and which ones to put in at the right time. But I think as we go throughout the year and then going forward in the next year and the year after that, I think those kids are going to be really, really good players. It's just going to be a matter of time, and it's going to be fun to watch them develop.
Yeah, it's neat to see them just after one game. You could tell that there's some talent there. Yeah. It just looked like they were nervous and in that first game and trying to figure it all out. But like you said, you hope you're not good right now, like we talked earlier this week. You hope your teams are good in January and February.
Yeah, I think they got a little bit of the nerves out with the exhibition game against Texas Wesleyan the week before, because we looked really nervous in that game. Our freshmen did. So they were better in this one. They weren't quite as nervous, but still, it's the first time being out there with the uniform on and the fans in the stands and all that kind of stuff. And then when the game really counts now. So, I think they'll get more comfortable the more that they play, the more minutes they get, and the more games they get under their belt. And so I said, again, at the end of the season, I think we'll be better than we are now. And I hope it's a lot better. So.
Well, it doesn't get any easier, as next week you play 3 games. Go to Austin College on Wednesday, Thanksgiving on Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, it's down in Seguin.
Southwestern.
Yeah, Georgetown. Going down to Southwestern, and that same area to take on Southwestern and Texas Southern. All 3 teams from the SCAC. Yep. So you're going to see in-region opponents, which is good for the schedule. But you're playing some teams that you saw last year that have gotten better since last year too.
Yeah, we didn't play Austin College last year. We played them the year before I got here. But they were the only team that beat UT Tyler in the regular season last year. I think they graduated some pretty key players, but they've still got a few back that started or played a lot of minutes. I think their leading scorer came off the bench last year actually, and she's back. So that's going to be tough. And then of course, taking the team on a first road trip, and I kind of, I was glad we got to play both of our exhibition games at home. But at the same time, it probably would have been a little bit valuable to get them that experience of what it's like to travel somewhere with such a young team. So, that's going to be huge for us, is maintaining focus on a road trip and not letting there be any distractions of, I've been sitting in a van for 2.5 hours and my legs are stiff and I'm tired or whatever, And then the same thing going down to Southwestern, especially over the holidays. You got a lot of distractions. There's a lot of excuses that you can make, but the good teams and the good players are able to block those out. And so we're going to stress that pretty hard this week, and hopefully that we can, this is a business trip. We're going to try to have some fun while we're gone. I think we're going to come back Wednesday night after the game and have Thanksgiving together on Thursday. We're trying to get something set up to do some kind of a service project on Thursday, helping serve somewhere or something. So if anybody's got any ideas, send them to us. And then my wife and her family will be in town, and they're going to cook Thanksgiving dinner for them and stuff. And then Friday we'll go down to Southwestern and Georgetown, and that's where my family's from. So we got a couple players from Austin area, so we'll have a lot of their families around too. So it'll be fun. But the main thing is going to be, you got to focus on the task at hand, and that's the game. You got to be able to block the rest of that stuff out. It's fine when we're in the hotel, but when we get to the gym, it's all business. So. We'll see how it goes. Both teams that we're playing down there are teams we played last year in close games. Southwestern we beat in our opener last year in a close game, and then TLU beat us in overtime last year. So I'm expecting both of them to be good competitive games.
Now with Thanksgiving, you said you're going to be here with the team, but as a coach, you probably don't get to do much Black Friday shopping.
No, I don't really do much of that.
Does Jill do any of that for you?
No. She's in charge of our finances, and I always it's pretty funny. I always give her trouble because I feel like I'm super cheap now. Like I'm usually the one that's trying to get her to, that's okay, it's no big deal. And she's like, no, this costs too much money and everything. Like she's very tight with our finances, which I really appreciate. She does a great job with managing that stuff, because I know like I'm not as organized as she is, and she does a great job with it. But it's funny, like I was, she's a dietitian too. So there's for me, there's two types of Jill guilt. The people that she works with talk about Jill guilt as with nutrition stuff. So like when she's at her job, people will see her, or even if they don't see her, they just think about, Jill would probably say this is not a good nutrition choice, and so they talk about Jill guilt. And so for me, I have that too, but I also have that with money, where there's some days where I'm like, I just really want to go get some hot food for lunch today, and then I'm like, Jill's gonna be mad, and she looks at the credit card statement and sees that I went to some restaurant to get some food, and I should have just ate my peanut butter and jelly at home. So yeah, she's real tight with that. We don't spend a lot of money, I think she probably would probably want to do the Cyber Monday stuff,
Yeah. That was going to be
she's
my
looking
next
for deals,
question,
because there's, you got to buy gifts for people.
You have to go
like
shopping sometime.
Right.
So, I mean, there's got to be a favorite time of the year. Do you get to go shopping over Christmas at all? Take some of that time? Or do you do your shopping in the off season?
Yeah, we probably try to do more of it in the off season, but we get a little bit of a break at Christmas. But yeah, I think she'll probably do a lot of it online, or because she's probably going to travel us that weekend too, and so we're going to be on the road all day that Friday. But I don't know. Maybe she'll sneak off to the outlets in Round Rock while I'm with the team. Or
if you
something
don't know
like
where
that.
she's at, that's probably where she's at.
Yeah. But I trust her to make good decisions, and she's not going to buy anything that we don't need, and she's not going to buy anything that's more expensive than she thinks she should pay for it. So.
Well, that's very, very smart.
Yeah, she's awesome.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck next
right.
week. Thanks
Appreciate
for coming by, and better future for the ladies as they grow this year.
Yep.